Okay, so I had Brittany ask me about how to use digital backgrounds. So I'm just going to run through that process quickly. Now these are straight out of camera. This one is one that I brought off Etsy, digital background, and this is a straight out of camera. So I'm also going to go ahead quickly and edit this. So we're going to start by grabbing the spot healing brush and just getting rid of a couple of little things that are here on Bub's face. He's got really good skin, so there's not much that really needs doing. I'm also going to run through how I use the Greater Than Gatsby newborn collection. Okay, so we're going to go over to Actions, Newborn Essentials, and start off with a soft red reduction. So we'll run that through. Lightens Bub up, takes a lot of that red out. Then we're going to go ahead, I might flatten that, go ahead, use the natural baby skin smoother. And we're just going to run it at 100% opacity along Bub's skin. Try to avoid eyelashes, but if you hit them, it's not too much of a big deal because we can just go back over them because we're on a layer mask. Which I did on his eyelashes a bit there. And we're going to bump that down to probably about 45. So we've still got all the texture in Bub's skin, but it's sort of just blended any of the redness and stuff that's there. There's still a little bit, but it's not too bad. So I'm going to flatten that down, go to darken and sharpen lashes. He's got pretty full little beautiful eyelashes anyway, but just add a little bit extra. Going to bring the opacity down to about 11, 10. And run that along his eyelashes. I like to do it just along the eyelash line because I find if you try and do all of the eyelashes then you get like a dark shadow under the eyes and that doesn't look very good. Usually do rosy baby cheeks. Bring the opacity back up to 100. Make sure you got a nice soft brush. It's obviously too strong, so I bring it down to usually to about 10. So it's only a very subtle difference, but I think in the long run it does make a nice subtle glow to their cheeks. Soft lip color boost. I'm going to paint that on, bring it right down to about probably 16. Again with just the subtleness. And that's about it with baby. Sometimes I like to go and have a look in the Innocence Retouch collection. There's here we are, soft red reducer. Sometimes I like to run it and see if baby needs it, but a lot of the time they don't. Run that all the way over. Bring it down a little bit because we already ran the red reducer in the newborn collection, but that's definitely taken a lot out. And then go to soft purple reducer and paint that on. Now obviously it's way too yellow. I'm just doing this rough because I'm going to cut baby out anyway to put them in a digital background. But I'm going to bring that way down, probably to about 26. It looks pretty good. Gives baby a bit of colour. Okay, so now we're going to flatten that. and we're going to go in and do our selection. Now, usually I would use a photo that has not as much depth of field, because not use such a wide aperture, because it's going to be hard to pick up those hairs, but it will be okay. We'll give it a go anyway. So we're going to do a quick selection around Bob, just like so. It's going to do this on me, so we'll just go back and do a little bit at a time. It's going to be difficult. Okay. Oops. Just going to deselect it, and I'm just going to use the lasso tool, because the background is quite similar to baby's skin color. I think it's struggling a little bit to pick it up. Back on there. So get his little ear in. Doesn't have to be perfect, because we're going to go up to the refine edge tool, select and mask. Now we'll see if this works alright, because sometimes it likes to be a little bit difficult if it's quite similar to the background color. But it looks like it's doing an okay job. Whatever this doesn't pick up anyway, we're going to do manually. So we'll just let that do its thing. Sorry, my computer's running incredibly slow tonight. Okay, so what we're going to do is output it to a new layer with a layer mask. Click OK, and there's our selection. Now, as you can see, it's a little bit soft on the edges here, and it's missed a little bit here and there, so you can just grab your brush tool, make it nice and small, and the baby is white, so we need to make sure we have white in the color selection, and just brush back in what quick selection missed. Little finger here. Now, with a lot of baby digital backgrounds, it doesn't really matter too much if you have a little bit of the backdrop in the photo, because try to get those shadows in there, because they really make the composite look much more realistic. And of course, if you can't, you can always add shadows, which I usually do anyway when it comes to compositing babies into images. Okay, so that looks pretty good considering we had such a shallow depth of field. It's picked up quite a bit. That's not perfect. I usually spend a lot more time on this, but I'm sort of just doing a nice quick one because I have a million tutorials to get through tonight. So we'll grab your select tool, grab Bub and just bring him over to the digital background. Now we're going to transform, bring him down to a decent size. So realistic proportions, probably about that size. Now we're going to go in and refine it a little bit. Make sure you clicked on your layer mask. And on black. Now I'm just going to make it look like the digital background is coming through a little bit. So probably make the hardness a little bit harder. And come up and get rid of some of Bub. As you can see here, you can see a little bit of the background still in there. I'm going to show you how to fix that in a minute, and then we're going to add shadows. To make it look a bit more realistic. What I'm trying to do here is just make it look like Bub's hand is behind the blanket a little bit. And that looks pretty good. Okay, so what we're going to do is do some shadows to make this look. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to show you how to change the color of the blanket here so it matches this a little bit better. So we're going to go into the brush tool, color replacement, make your brush size nice and small, and pick out that color there of the blanket, and then run it along where the shadows are and any remaining blanket. Okay, yep, that looks pretty good. Okay, so now we're going to put a few little shadows in, which I'm just going to do with the burn tool. So burn, and Bub's quite light, so we're going to go to highlights. Bring the exposure right down to about 24, and with a nice soft brush, I'm going to brush some shadows on. And doing it on this layer, it's not going to go onto the blanket at all, so you can be pretty. And then just brush it on until you're happy with it. It's probably a little bit dark. And look at the color of the shadows and Bub everywhere else, and try something a little different. We're going to go ahead and get the color replacement tool again. Click on them darks. We're going to make a new layer, create clipping mask, so it's step that there. Grab the normal brush tools and grab the color of the shadows. And we're going to brush it on a little bit. The hardness is still a little bit hard. So we're going to go back to it's really soft. And then we're just going to lower the opacity heaps. And then just to make it look a little bit more realistic, lower the opacity right down and do one more little. So now these shadows are sort of the same colour. We went a little bit crazy on the shadows. So I'm just going to make them a little bit more subtle. Just like that. Now we're going to go back to the background layer. We're going to duplicate it. And I'm going to go to the burn tool for this one. Actually, no, we might stick with this. We're going to go and have a look at the shadow color in here, pick that out. We're going to stay at about 50% opacity. I'm just going to brush it in under Bub's hand. Try to look at the direction that the shadow would be in and work with that. Over here we're just going to do the same. Grab the shadow color from Bub's skin again and brush it on ever so lightly. Might just lower the opacity even more on that. Still not liking how much is there, so what I'm going to do is get a big brush, not that big, and just go from here. So that it's just getting the outskirts of the brush. There we go, that's better. And do the same on this side. You really got to play with shadows until you get them just right. Okay, so I'm fairly happy with that. We've still got a little bit of background here, which I'm going to just grab my brush tool and grab black and get rid of it, because that realistically wouldn't be there. Put my opacity back up and get that out. Just make sure there's no other little bits and bobs that you don't want in there. It's like here, there's a bit of, oops. Okay. Now what we're going to do is work on getting Baby's colouring to the scene, so it matches the scene. So what we're going to do is go right up to the top. I'm going to go to a curves layer, and we're going to play around with the colours. So I think maybe we might have a go at, oh, we've got to clip it down, by the way. Lower the overall brightness a little bit. We might go into the red channel, have a play there. Warm Baby up a little bit in the blue channel. And might go into adjustments, photo filter, and just clip it to Bub now. That's obviously way too orange. So we're going to bring it down to about 50%. And that looks fairly good. So I'm going to leave it at that. And that's my finished composite. Thanks for watching.